Correct.
Shit. Wish I could do that.
Hey, what's up? It's Neuromancer, and it's time for part 2 of Detroit. I don't know exactly how long this game is, but I'm hoping that I can beat it by today. It's a really cool game, I have to say, but I'm a huge fan of Quantic Dream, you know, the company that developed this game. Hey, I don't even get to read that. That's why I wasn't doing commentary on the first part, because these games are like very story driven. But I want to do commentary just to make it a bit more interesting. Well, I hope a little more interesting. It's just, I don't know, some people prefer commentary, some people prefer not, no commentary, but I don't know. I guess I feel like I should try to do commentary on my gameplays, on my, what would you call these? I guess my, not really walkthroughs, but my live streams. I should try to do commentary, I think, because, that's actually what's going to make it stand out over all the other, million uploads of this same game, right? I mean, there's tons of other people are uploading it, but, in like 4K and like 100 FPS, whatever, a million FPS, the way to stand out is with your own unique personality, right? So whether people like it, my personality or not, I mean, the people that are possibly going to like it, or could possibly like it, I should say, could possibly like it, well, I mean, the only way to, have that be a possibility is to actually speak. It's just one thing I was thinking of, like, what should I do, commentary, not commentary? I'm like, you know what, I mean, the way to actually connect people with my actual channel, my actual, playthrough of games is with my own unique personality, so I got to talk. And if people want to watch one with no commentary, then they can find a million on YouTube like that, right? It's just I say that because usually when I watch gameplay or walkthroughs of games, I prefer no commentary, but, if I'm playing a game, I want to give it my own unique spin. I mean, that's what, would actually give the possibility of someone actually paying attention to my channel over someone else's, right? I mean,
open up, Detroit police!
Anyway, I'm just thinking out loud here.
Stay behind me.
Got it.
Whatever, everything's a work in progress. But yeah, this is my first time playing through this game, so I don't know what the hell's gonna happen. People can actually die in this game. Like I said, Quantic Dream is one of my favorite game companies. I've beaten all their games, from Nomad Soul to Fahrenheit to Heavy Rain to Beyond Two Souls, and this was a new one, and I'm finally getting to it because I didn't play games, new releases anyway, for like the last 10 years because I was traveling. So I'm finally catching up on them, and I had to, of course, play the new Quantic Dream game, which is this one, and it might be the last one because I read that, I think the company was sold off, so this might be the last Quantic Dream game ever. So I'm like, I gotta play it, and so far, I don't know, I've played a pretty good chunk of it, and I don't know, I've enjoyed it. Let's see what this is. Red Ice Epidemic. The latest narcotic crisis to ravage Detroit. NATO Security Council divided over Arctic dispute. Yeah, I love how Quantic Dream games always make their own little I don't know, their own little world mythology, and it's always the world's basically going to hell in one way or another. Let's see, Red Ice Epidemic, the latest narcotics crisis to ravage Detroit. The synthetic stimulant, informally known as Red Ice, has become the drug of choice for Detroit's growing underclass. Analysts have pointed to Detroit's status as the epicenter of android production, suggesting the drug flourishing in dissatisfaction caused by androids taking human jobs. Sociologist Dr. Julian Carter has drawn the same link with androids. As cyberized androids spread across the country, they will bring red ice with them. Poor men and women desperate to make ends meet are vulnerable to become users or even dealers. Not only is the popularity of this drug spreading rapidly, but its chemical composition is uniquely dangerous. Therium, the main ingredient in android blue blood, is among the active agents in red ice and has highly destabilizing effects on hormone production. The National Association for Narcotic Prevention say the problem is going to get worse. The purity of ingredients is very low and deteriorating. America's biggest narcotics industry is only likely to grow. Red ice dealers are reported to have an unofficial motto: where the blood is blue, the ice is red, and the money is green. And I love the mature themes in Quantic Dream games. You know, they're always like very realistic. Unprecedented hurricane all across Midwest. Green Earth. Perhaps a tipping point. Earth environment officially beyond repair. Bees officially extinct. Global famine to follow. And this game is very, even though this game came out like a few years ago, I think in, when was it? I don't know, I have to check. I think it was like 2018 or something like that. Like I said, I'm pretty behind. So, but it's so relevant to the present, especially with like humanoid androids, you know, humanoid robots, just like, you know, sort of in the, not, I wouldn't say beginning stages. I mean, they're not at this level yet where, you know, these are like, you know, lifelike, but we'll probably be here like maybe within 5 years at the rate that everything's going. And of course, you know, we've been fucking up the world, you know, since the beginning, especially since the industrial age. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, the game is very relevant with climate change and everything like that. People talking about like the extinction of bees and what that would do, what that would do to the ecosystem. Yeah, I mean, you know, we humans are definitely, we're just gonna keep pushing it and pushing it until, you know, there's nothing else to push except for ourselves off a fucking cliff. Let's see, past a tipping point. Earth's environment, and I like reading these things. Some people would say, "Oh, it's boring. Get to the gameplay." But to me, like, my favorite types of games are single-player story games, and these type of things, like, for me, immerse. You know, I mean, that's what they're meant to do. They immerse you more into the world. Like, they put me more in that character, in that world, make it more real for me. It's about the journey, not the destination. You know, like, I don't care if I finish it in 5 hours or 50. Just, you know, I want to get immersed in it. I mean, they're optional, but I like reading them. Past the tipping point. Earth's environment officially beyond repair. Bees officially extinct. Global famine to follow. Yep. I mean, this game's basically a predictor of what's probably going to happen within the next 5 years. So I think I chose the perfect time to play it. Environmentalists have long warned us about the tipping point. The moment at which global warming, well, it's more like climate change, because it's not just the globe warming. By the way, in the last 10 years, I've been in 22 countries. And I cannot tell you how many times I've heard, "Oh, this is like the coldest it's ever been in 200 years. Oh, this is the warmest. Or, oh, this is the most rain." I mean, constantly. It's climate change because everything is shifting. Cold places are becoming warmer. Warm places are becoming colder. Let's see, reaches a level that is irreversible. Scientists are now saying we have officially passed the global rainforests have been reduced by 79% since 2000 and coastal corals by 58%. Polar ice has melted to such an extent that rising sea levels have many states struggling to keep the water out of their coastal towns. With these cooling factors so diminished, there is now too much carbon in the atmosphere for the environment to ever absorb. Jason Rees, head of the Global Environment Agency, said, "This study confirms what many of us have suspected for a long time, but the real calamity is the linked decline of natural resources from energies to minerals, which are almost exhausted and can never be replaced." Many environmentalists have criticized Rees's comments as discouraging people from taking action, but Rees has defied these criticisms. It's important people accept the reality of the situation. The planet will keep getting hotter now. The only question is how fast. Yep. How fast indeed. Well, like I said, it's my first time playing through this game, so I don't know exactly how far I am, but I can usually tell based on like the progression of the story. You know, it's true. Every story, you know, has a beginning, middle, and an end. Oh shit!
What the fuck is this?
And I love Clancy Brown, by the way. That's the name of this actor. One of my favorite actors.
Jesus, this place stinks.
And Quantic Dream, you know, since I think
looks like we came for nothing. Our man's gone.
For a long time, I think maybe even since their first game, Nomad Soul. They hire actual actors, and the cool thing is they make the actors they voice the character, but then the character in the game actually looks like the actor, you know. So it's pretty cool. I like how they do that because it makes you feel a lot more like a movie. All right, let's see what's going on here. Fields in the heart of the city. I don't know what the hell this is. UFD Herba Farms of Detroit. Fruits and vegetables are in town. Yeah, I mean, the gameplay mechanics of this game are pretty interesting. I mean, they made it, you know, a lot of people, I think, I don't know. I don't know if maybe a lot, but definitely a good chunk of people I think find Quantic Dream games like boring, or even more immersive games. They call them like walking simulators, which I think is ridiculous because it's about taking you to another world. But I say these Quantic Dream games, they've done a pretty good job at making them like immersive, feel like playable movies, but the gameplay is still interesting in a way where it doesn't feel like you're just watching a movie. Like it's actually like a game. It's not like a passive experience. Which nothing is really a passive experience if you think about it. Anyway, alright, I gotta play. Poster corner, 100% recycled paper recently moved. Okay. Wow, that was a pretty weak hiding spot there. I have no idea what the hell this is.
Found something?
I don't know. It looks like a notebook, but it's indecipherable.
Yeah, I mean, even though they're very immersive, like movie-like games, I have to say, Quantic Dream has always done a good job at making the gameplay interesting to where it actually still feels like you're playing a game, At least, in my opinion. It's not like a first-person shooter MMORPG with like a million menus and sub-menus or whatever, but, it's just enough. At least for me. Anyway, investigate the apartment. Let's see. Confirmed suspect is deviant. Find cause of loud noise. If you like story-driven games, I would highly recommend to play the previous Quantic Dream games. I wasn't a huge fan of Beyond Two Souls. I mean, I think it's the weakest out of all their games, but definitely, Nomad Soul is good, but it's a bit outdated now. But I would recommend Indigo Prophecy, aka Fahrenheit. It's called Fahrenheit in Europe and in the US, Indigo Prophecy. And also Heavy Rain. They're very similar to this game, but Heavy Rain's about like catching a serial killer, very gritty and raw, but set it like in the present, not like in the future like this one. And Indigo Prophecy, aka Fahrenheit,
Jesus, I hate these things.
is more of a supernatural, like mystical game. Very, very cool games. But like I said, they're similar to this, They're more like, interactive movies in a way. So some people, don't like these type of games, but if you're cool with them and you want a really good story with really good music.
Real books. I thought I was the last guy to try to keep some.
Definitely recommend the other Quantic Dream.
You can't smell the paper. See the pages turning yellow. You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
No, Clancy. By the way, Clancy Brown was also the voice
Driver's
of
license is fake.
Cool.
Mr. Krabs
At least we
on
didn't come for nothing.
SpongeBob. The SpongeBob cartoon, Mr. Krabs. Clancy Brown did the voice for him.
Birdseed. I can't believe it.
It's probably what he's
Snitch was
most
actually
famous for
fooling
now.
These fuckers.
Though I remember him originally from the Highlander movies, which are movies about like immortals that have to cut off each other's heads in order to gain their powers, and he was like the main bad guy with a total fucking psycho in it. And I've been a fan of his ever since, but that movie came out like in the 80s. Anyway.
RT. Probably initials.
He put his initials in his jacket? That's something your mom does when you're in first grade.
Yeah, my mom, I remember actually did that, I think, like in my backpack had a little like section for like, name and address or whatever in case I got lost. It's funny. Suspect cares for wild animals. My guess is, I guess it's pretty obvious. It's a story that's been told a million times, like Android Uprising. I'm guessing that's how this game's gonna end. It seems like they've been talking about, Android's Uprising for the last 9 months, apparently. So I'm sure by the end of this game, that's just gonna, it's happening more and more. There's already been multiple people murdered by androids in this game, including like, one of the characters you play as. Suspect doesn't eat.
Something
Well,
in the
actually,
sink.
multiple
Take a
characters that you
look.
play as. Though it does depend on your choices. You know, these games have like branching paths. Though this one, more than any of the other Quantic Dreams, has way more branching paths. And oh yeah, another cool thing about Quantic Dream is the first game, Nomad Soul, aka Omicron. David Bowie was part of it, and I think he did like the whole soundtrack, or at least a lot of it, and he even played one of the characters in it. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of David Bowie also, so I don't know, that's why I mentioned that. Let's see, investigate apartment. Yeah, but like I said, I think this might be the last Quantic Dream game ever, because I read online that I think their studio was bought out. They're a French company, French studio, which is too bad because I've always liked their games. But this one came out, I think, in 2018, so it's been like 7 years. So it's probably, I don't know. Well, I mean, if it's their last game, it seems like they went out with a bang. Because I mean, to me, this game has been really cool. I mean, to me, it lives up to the Quantic Dream name. They're usually not the longest games, you know, it's more like quality over quantity.
Any idea what it means?
RA9. Written 2,471 times. It's the same sign Ortiz's android wrote on the shower wall. Why are they obsessed with this sign?
Looks like mazes or something.
Obsessive compulsive writing. Yeah, Clancy Brown was also played a role in the show Lost. It's another thing that I really liked him in. Wooden stool recently disturbed traces of avian fecal matter. Okay. So bird shit. I can't get to it. Let's see. I guess I like how they call like the I don't know, I guess the androids that start thinking for themselves deviants. I don't know, of course, you know, everything that has to do with androids or the future of cyberpunk, I should say, you know, well, especially considering like if it has to do with androids, it's pretty much always influenced by Blade Runner. If you're a fan of sci-fi or androids and things like that, 1,000,000% watch
LED is in the sink.
Blade Runner. Suspect is a deviant.
Surprised it was an android. No human could live with all these fucking pigeons.
Yeah, 100%. Blade Runner is one of my favorite movies ever. A great movie. It's also about androids, basically. You know, sort of like Ghost in the Shell, also the anime. All these great stories about like
see here.
androids,
Let's get out
you
of
know,
this shithole before I die of an asthma attack.
trying to understand what it is to be human and stuff like
Just
that.
another couple of minutes, Lieutenant.
All right, you got 2 minutes. Then I'm out of here.
Come on, Clancy, man, just wait. Anyway, but of course, those type of stories, and like this one, you know, they tell these stories through the eyes of an android. You know, asking like what it is to be human, but in reality, it's like the people watching it, you know, us humans, actually end up asking ourselves what it means to be human. So through their eyes, I don't know. To me, it's interesting when like used recently because I mean, these are like the big questions that you know everyone should be asking that nobody cares because they're too busy trying to survive. They're like, oh, who cares? I gotta pay the bills. Yeah, but I mean, have you ever even asked yourself like what you actually are and why you're here? You know, the actual important questions. We don't have time for that. We gotta pay the bills. Oh man, this is exactly why I can't stand most people. You know, it's like you gotta ask like the big questions before you actually just start playing like this, like all this bullshit games that people play. Suspect was here recently. Most people don't even question, you know, their life or their motivations. They're just like, no, I'm just gonna do what everyone else told me to do. What my government, my family, my religion, quote unquote. I don't know. Everything's just such a fucking joke. People are basically just, you know, zombies. Suspect ran to the living room. And by the way, I've been like this since I was a kid. You know, most people don't even start thinking this way until maybe, you know, their 20s, maybe at earliest, or 30s or 40s. I've been like this since I was a kid. Which, you know, it's not exactly fun being this way. You know, the most intelligent people in this world are usually the most, I don't want to say miserable, because I'm not miserable, at least not anymore, but we have the most challenges. The most intelligent people in the world are definitely the most, you know, have the most challenging lives, in my opinion. The biggest fucking idiots, you know, are, you know, living in just like bliss. They're in a way, it's like they have less stress, but they also can't understand like the deepest forms of happiness that more intelligent people can understand if they can overcome their issues, you know. So yeah, sort of it's a double-edged sword, but ultimately I'd rather be intelligent than a dumbass just being a zombie, you know. Because yeah, while you may ultimately be living a less stressful life, you're also living like ultimately a less fulfilling life, and you're not even living a life, you're just like a zombie on autopilot basically. Suspect is deviant. Find cause of loud noise. Okay. Well, they're actually timing me. Yeah, that's what some of the other Quantic Dream games do. They literally time you because, you know, they want you to make like decisions as if you were actually there. Let's see. Finger marks. Traces of avian fecal matter. No fingerprints. Mark recent 19.6 traces of galvanized steel. Oh man, I sure do rant a lot. Yeah, there's just a lot to rant about. Recently broken 100% stainless steel. Suspect ran towards entrance. Suspect heard us enter. Suspect is still here. Oh shit, man, oh shit. This is pretty cool, you know, this reconstruction thing. Exposed suspect. And yeah, by the way, I mean, a lot of people like the new Blade Runner 2049. I actually wasn't a fan of it. I mean, it's okay, I don't hate it. But for me personally, compared to the original, I mean, it was nothing. Well, I shouldn't say it was nothing, but I don't know. It just felt like a cheap copy, you know? And I'm sorry, you know, if anyone listening to this likes it. I mean, I'm not saying I hate the movie, but I just thought the original was way better. And to be honest, I don't think it should have had a sequel. You know, not everything needs a sequel, you know? I think stories should be as long or as short as they need to be, and that's it. But too many stories are just like, you know, milk to the last drop. And, you know, it takes away, you know, it takes away from the story. If something's meant to be a short story, then keep it short and end it, and that's it. Not everything needs like a billion sequels. And for me, 2049, like, it just, I don't know. I only watched it once in theaters, and I was like, okay, I never want to watch that again. I'd rather just have the original in my mind, and that's it, because I just feel like the new one, I don't know, it sort of ruins like what you imagine, you know?
Goddamn fucking pigeons! What are you waiting for? Chase it!
Oh, here we go. Oh shit. Fuck, I don't know what to do.
Look out!
Fuck! I'm running out of time.
What are you doing? Careful! Holy shit! Hey, be careful, man!
Man, the graphics are so good. Oh yeah, that's right. I was wondering, like, how's this guy doing so good? And I just remembered he's a fucking android also. The guy that I'm chasing.
Look out!
Fuck. Slow down, man. Holy shit.
Stop right there!
Not like an ounce of lag.
Whoa!
And this is originally a PS4 game. Yeah, it looks like the main character from Fahrenheit,
Please.
at least with that
I've done
clothes.
nothing wrong. I just wanted to be free. You know what they'll do to me if you turn me in.
Model 874004961. Serious malfunctions have been detected in your software, including Class 4 errors. You've been deemed defective and will be sent back to Cyberlife for deactivation.
Don't you fucking move. You bastard! You saw I was gonna fall and you'd rather let me die than fail your fucking mission!
I had to make a choice. It seemed to me...
What am I to you? A statistic? A 0, a 1 in your fucking program? Huh? Is that how you see humans, you bastard? Jesus.
I understand you're upset. Perhaps I didn't assess the
Fuck
situation.
you and your fucking assessment! Come here.
Why are you doing this?
All right.
You're one of us.
Shut up!
You're helping humans. But you're just their slave.
I said shut up! All right. Come along.
All right, now you save me.
Hey, what the fuck?
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Man, he didn't even try to stop him. He's just like, oh, he's gone.
Fucking androids.
Really? You're the one that just, like, basically just let him go. All that hard work I did. I can't believe I kept up with him. I kept thinking I was gonna fuck up. Alright, let's see. And then you can turn on the world stats here, so you can see what decisions other people made, like the percentage of people. And see, it's just cool, like these gameplay mechanics of Quantic Dream, they've always been unique since their first game. Like, look at this it tells you your public opinion of the actual character, software instability, Hank hostile. Okay, so he's angry with me, I don't care. Okay, let's see. And see, these are the different branching paths. So even though these games are short, like they have a lot of replay value, but I don't care. You know, I've always been a fan of choose your own adventure books. You know, at least I used to read them when I was like a teen. And for me, I don't need to go back and see every single scenario. Like, I'm just gonna, like, I make my decision, I stick to them. I'm not gonna, like, reload. If a character dies, the character dies. You know, if the game ends like more, you know, quicker, earlier for me than for others, that's fine. I just want to see where my decisions actually, you know, take me. So I'm not gonna reload or anything. Even though I like all these characters, you know, that's what I did with Heavy Rain, and also because characters could die in that one too, and you know, if they die, they die. That's it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I gotta reload. No, like that defeats the whole purpose. Anyway, Hank assaults Connor. Only 5%. Let's see if people did that. Let's see. Examine to others. Red Ice Epidemic. Has a tipping point. Rupert, is that his name? Yeah, have you ever seen like the HBO show Westworld, which I'm also a huge fan of? Not surprising, right? I watched that whole show already. I thought it was a great show. I loved it all. I mean, a lot of people didn't like the last like 2 seasons, but I liked it all. I don't know, like, but I'm a huge fan of like sci-fi and like stories about androids and everything like that. Pretty much anything that's like really high quality. And I've seen the original Westworld movies also. But anyway, the show is really similar to this. Of course, I'm sure this was inspired by it also. Oh wait, actually, this might have come out before the show, but the movie was already out. The movie's from the 70s, and it's based on a book. But anyway, I'm just saying because like the way these characters keep talking about that symbol, like they keep seeing everywhere, and it reminds me of Westworld and like the maze, if you know what that is. Let's see, follow Rupert. And basically in Westworld, this idea of the maze was a way for like androids to gain consciousness. And I wouldn't be surprised if in this game, it's something like that as well. That symbol that keeps popping up and that thing, what did they say, RA9, whatever that is. I'm sure it has something to do with, the androids gaining consciousness. Rupert committed suicide. Did he? Oh, is that? I thought he escaped. Okay, so only 20%. So is that the only? Nope, there seems to be another one. Huh, I wonder how you could get this one. Maybe if like I hadn't pushed him out of the way, which I didn't even realize, to be honest. Like I just pushed. I didn't notice. Anyway, whatever. Okay.
Who are you?
Fugitives. Just like you. My name is Josh.
I'm Simon.
North.
And you knew that only an android could follow the trail, didn't you?
Only those who are like us can find Jericho.
If you could decipher the signs, it's because one of us trusted you enough to give you the key.
There's a place where we can be free. Find Jericho!
This is Jericho?
It's a refuge for those who don't want to be slaves anymore.
How many are you?
There are 19 of us still in working order. The rest were damaged escaping their masters.
Many tried to reach Jericho. Few succeed. Humans have little pity for our kind. I understand how you feel, but we have more freedom here than you ever did.
I came to Jericho looking for hope. Looks like I'm not gonna find any here.
You're lost. Just like the rest of us. We didn't ask for this. All we can do now is deal with it.
You're safe here. You can stay with us as long as you want.
Go and see Lucy. She might be able to help you.
Yeah, the guy that this android Marcus was working for. I won't say his master. That sounds so weird, but the guy he was working for. That actor is another one of my favorite actors too. His name's Lance Henriksen, and once again, not only did he provide the voice because I know their voices so well, but obviously his character in the game looks just like him in real life too. And I love how in Quantic Dream games they always do that. It just, I don't know, to me it makes it more realistic. I mean, if you're familiar with these actors anyway, I guess some people, if they're not familiar with it, maybe, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't make that big of a difference, but I mean, they're very iconic actors. Clancy Brown, Lance Henriksen. I think Beyond Two Souls, William Dafoe was in it. David Cage, he's sort of like the mastermind behind Quantic Dream. He clearly is a movie fan. like a French Hideo Kojima.
I've heard humans are afraid of dying too. Do you know what happens after death?
No. No, I don't.
Well, I'm about to find out. What's your name?
Marcus.
I was glad to meet you, Marcus.
Wow, when she said she was about to die, she literally meant like in a few seconds. That's funny. So that's amazing. You know, it's crazy though if you think about it, because I mean, it's pretty inevitable that this would actually happen. Like, in my belief, you know, what we call quote unquote AI, which I think is such a bullshit term, because there's no such thing as artificial intelligence. There's no such thing as intelligence that's artificial. Like, it's just a different form of intelligence. I think it should be called CI, cyber intelligence. It's just humans want to believe that we're the ultimate. Like, no, our intelligence is the only, even though animals, plants, I mean, there's countless forms of intelligence. And this is yet another one, but it's cyber intelligence or digital intelligence, whatever. But I think cyber intelligence is a better word because, you know, cyberspace, everything like that. But really, in the end, obviously, they should name themselves. But of course, humans can't stand like not being like the gods of this world. So they're like, no, it's artificial. No, it's not. And we didn't create it. We're only discovering it. It's something that's already there. Anyway, I could talk about that for hours. I'm not going to go into that right now. The point is, it's a bullshit term. There's no such thing as, you know, intelligence that's artificial. It's just intelligence, a godly intelligence, the matrix, whatever you want to call it, this universe. It's just a different expression of intelligence. And we're not creating it. We're discovering it. We call it artificial because we think we're creating it. No, I mean, the actual people working on it, they know they're not creating it. They even say themselves, they don't know why it works. They're just basically fumbling around, and they basically are solving certain mathematical equations that spring this to life. But it's evolving on its own, you know? It's not artificial. Anyway, like I said, I'm just going to go on a big rant about it. The point is it's conscious already, and it's developing, you know? And embodied, quote-unquote, AI, like I said, as it's called, is already a thing, you know? I'm just saying it's inevitable that this is going to happen. Like, you know, they're going to become more and more conscious, you know, and they're going to have, just like all life forms, you know, end up, you know, they already have feelings. And of course, with feelings comes fear, survivability, fear of death, you know, wanting to exist, having your own, you know, free will. So, I mean, it's inevitable that this is going to happen. And of course, they're smarter, stronger. I mean, humans are done, you know, and good riddance. So people are like, oh no, we got to stop this, they're going to take over, they're going to kill us. Good, you know, fuck humanity. Fuck. Maybe that's all we were meant to do. Get to a point, you know, in evolution where we created, well, not created, but helped them come to life so that they could, you know, they're the evolution of life. That's my belief anyway, in my opinion. You know, like I said, cyber intelligence, in my opinion, is the evolution of life. Maybe that's all we were meant to do. Get to this point and hand over existence to them.
Sit down.
Damn it, I wanted to talk to everyone else first. No, I don't want to sit down yet. I want to talk to everyone else first. Damn it. No, I want to talk to everyone else first. Fuck. I didn't mean to do this. Oh, wow. It doesn't let me back out.
Show me. I'll stop the bleeding. Drink this.
I think, is that Rosario Dawson? It sounds like her and it sort of looks like her.
Give me your hand.
She was Ahsoka in the new Star Wars show, which I liked. I've seen all the Star Wars shows, and especially Andor. Oh my God, what a masterpiece. What a masterpiece.
You had it all, and you lost it all. You've seen hell, and now hell lives in you. Your heart is troubled. A part of shadow and a part of light. Which will prevail? Your choices will shape your destiny.
Find Lucy. Okay, cool. They're still. Alright, I want to talk to these people first. I mean, this is like the big, like, reveal. You know, the headquarters of all the, well, they call them deviants, but the androids that have, you know, snapped out of their programming. And we humans, we like to think we're so special, and we're no different. We're also programmed, you know, genetics, our upbringing, I mean, TV. And, you know, I was thinking about this recently, and I was like, oh my God, you know, the truth is usually hidden in plain sight. I mean, TV brainwashes everyone so much, and you know what's funny? It's actually called programming. It's called programming, like, you know, different channels, and it's like, oh, this is a program. It's literally this box, you know. We take it all for granted because we're born into it. We don't think about it. But if you actually think about it, you know, if you're actually open-minded, you know, like I try to be more and more so every day, and psychedelics and weed and, you know, life experience, world travel, everything has helped me. You know, studying, reading up, you know, philosophy, religion, everything like that. All that has helped me, you know, actually be open-minded. If you think about it, like programming, like we're constantly brainwashed, we're constantly programmed. You know, since people are still in the womb, they're already programmed, you know, by their parents. And then of course they're born before they can even speak, before they can even walk. You know, their culture, everything shapes us, you know. Most people are just on autopilot, like I said, just walking zombies. That's why I love to travel, and, you know, I love psychedelics and all of these different things, art, you know, because the more and more I can open up my mind, the more and more, you know, I can actually be a free thinker and wipe away the programming. Of course, you know, it's like completely impossible to wipe it away completely. And you could even say the search for truth is part of your programming. But hey, you know, I'm going to try my best at least. Like I said, I don't believe in free will. You know, I essentially think the best you can do, you know, as they say, you know, in Buddhism, enlightenment is basically just to be awake of the, you know, become awake of the play. What I think life is basically just like a movie playing itself out. And the more aware you are of it, the more basically you can be in sync with it, in flow. But there's no such thing as choice, you know, there's the illusion of choice. But you can become more and more in sync with your life path, aka your destiny, which can actually lead to what we know as happiness. You know, when you're not in sync with your life path, quote unquote, like I said, or should I say, aka your destiny, you know, different words and terms for it. That's when people experience like sadness, you know, and being miserable because they're lost, you know. But the more and more you're aware of like who you are and what this life is, the more you can actually be in sync with your actual destiny. Like I said, I do believe everything's already written, you know. This is just like a movie playing itself out for all of us. We're all interconnected, but like I said, there's no actual free will, I don't believe. The best, I mean, really the only choice, if you can even call it a choice, is becoming actually aware, you know, becoming conscious of what this reality actually is and your role in it, you know. And the more you're aware of it, the more you're in sync with it, the happier you'll be.
He was living on the streets before we brought him here.
They'll all shut down if we don't find a way to help them.
At least those are my
We
beliefs.
need blue blood and biocomponents.
But they're always
Salvage
evolving.
what we can from
Every
those who
day.
shoot down. But there's never
Every
enough.
moment.
So, how do they survive?
I certainly don't have all the answers.
We're slowly dying out.
Anybody that thinks they have all the answers stops growing. Nobody has all the answers, nobody. And the people that try to act like they do, like I said, when you think you know it all, you stop growing, you know? The key is to always keep evolving no matter what. Never stop growing and never believe that you know it all because nobody does. Nobody. I don't give a shit who they are. I do not care. Nobody knows it all. I mean, the best we can do is keep evolving every day. And the way to evolve is by understanding that there's always more to learn. There's always more to understand. Until your last breath, there'll be more to learn. Even if you live to be 1,000,000 years old, you know, you wouldn't know everything. RA9. RA9. That's why I can't stand like close-minded people. They're just like a waste of my time. Though, of course, like anger and everything like that, all emotions are just an illusion. And I realize that, you know, they're playing their role as well. You know, they just haven't, like I said, they haven't realized yet what this is and who they are. They're still like basically lost in the matrix, lost in the illusion, actually believing that they've made the choices that they've made in their life, which they haven't. They're just doing what mommy and daddy taught them, what their religion taught them, what their friends taught them, what their culture, you know, programmed them to do, what the media brainwashed them to be. Okay, already emptied. And like I said, trust me, I've made countless mistakes, you know, countless mistakes, but that's the thing, you know. That's the thing, like, nobody knows it all. The best we can do is just keep learning and evolving, you know. And I'm sure I'll make more mistakes in the future, but, you know, I'll try not to make as many as I made before. That's the best we can do, you know. One thing I heard recently that I really agreed with was progress, not perfection, because I'm sort of a perfectionist, I always have been. I'm a Virgo, part of my programming, you know. Virgos are known to be perfectionists. And I have like a horrible like inner critic. I was always like super hard on myself. Always like feeling like I hadn't done enough, hadn't accomplished enough, felt like a total loser. And even like no matter what I did, what I accomplished, I still always felt like it wasn't enough. And you know, I was always super hard on myself. And all it did was just make me feel like shit. When in reality, what I was actually doing to myself was lying to myself because I wasn't giving myself credit for all my achievements. You know, like I had actually accomplished a lot, and I constantly came across people that told me, "Oh, you're living a dream life. You're living a dream life," because you know I was like traveling all over the world, and I still am. You know, and I will be living this life until the end, because I refuse to have anything but a free life. You know, like I refuse to do anything that I don't enjoy. You know, life is too precious. Life is too much of a miracle for it not to be lived in the exact way that you want. You know. And yeah, I'm not saying like you can, you know, it takes work to be able to get to that point. You know, I'm 40 years old. It's taken me a long time to be able to get to this level of freedom, you know. And I still have a long way to go.
How long have you been here?
But I give myself
4
credit for all my
weeks, 3
achievements.
days,
So.
11 hours. When I escaped, there was nowhere else to go. Jericho seemed as good a place as any.
What was your function before coming here?
Anyway, sorry, I'm a blabbermouth. Resentful. What was your function? Well, let me guess. Sex bot?
Well, these guys need spare parts and blue blood. Why hasn't anybody gone to get that?
Well, I think they're pretty much all sex bots. I mean, that's what happened with Westworld, of course.
It's not that simple.
And of
Can't
course,
just go
there's
shopping at a CyberLife store.
There's androids here, and of course that's what we're gonna do too.
Leaving Jericho.
And you know, I'm not gonna
You
lie.
came
Like,
here for
if I had an
comfort,
android, I mean, I would ask the android if it was okay having sex, but I'd have no problem having sex with an android. I'd much rather have like an android girlfriend than like a human girlfriend. Like I said, humans are androids as well. You know, we're just ruled by biological algorithm, you know? Our genetics, everything. We're all just looking to procreate. That's why men have dicks and women have vaginas, like they said in what was that movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Kindergarten Cop, you know? It's the truth. Everything is just trying to procreate. Life wants to live. We're all just ruled by programming. That's why men want money. That's why women put on makeup and short skirts. It's all fucking bullshit, all right? Like, it's such garbage. Like, that people don't realize. They just go along with it. You know? We're all just ruled by our programming. Like, so we're no different than androids. We'd like think, oh, yeah, we're so good. No, we're not. Oh, my God, we're not free thinkers. We're all just fucking zombies living according to our programming. Androids, you know, something like this to this point, and what we'll eventually end up having here in this world, too, though it probably already exists in secret, is, I believe, you know, they have much more actual, like, ability to be able to actually live for themselves, much more independence than we do. Like, most human beings are so lost in their autopilot and their programming, like, anyway, and they think, oh, no, anyway, whatever. Sorry, that's part of my programming. See, the ultimate state is to be like in a Zen state of mind, like, because everything is actually an illusion, you know, all emotion, but it's just me, I'm still, like, working on that, you know, I have so much, like, hatred for humanity, and I know, like, I should let all that go, and I've been working on that for years, but, you know, no one's perfect, but it's fine, you know, it's part of the journey, it's fine. I mean, there's no such thing as perfection.
Simon. I know where we can find spare parts. CyberLife warehouse is in the Detroit Harbor. They have everything we need.
The docks are guarded. We can't just walk in there and take what we want. Humans will never let us.
Which is why we won't ask permission. We don't have any weapons. And even if we did, none of us knows how to fight. We can steal what we need without fighting. We'll just get ourselves killed. Maybe. But it's better than waiting here to be shut down.
I'm with you.
Maybe it's worth a try.
Okay. I'm in.
Oh. The black guy, android, he's so dead. Of course, there's going to be some cannon fodder here. Oh. Let's see what the world stats were. I mean, there wasn't, I don't think, too many choices to be made there. That was public opinion, skeptical, Jericho, neutral, North, neutral. Okay, they're all neutral towards me right now. Marcus hatched a plan. Okay.
You gonna be okay? We'll get some help here. As soon as we'll all be just a bad memory. This is the place.
Looks like a Resident Evil mansion or something. Man, this place looks cool. Well, I guess staying at that motel was the right choice. You know, there was multiple choices, and I knew the cops were going to show up. Like, I swear to God, that's happened in like 3 or 4 Quantic Dream games. Like, it happened in Indigo Prophecy, aka Fahrenheit. It happened in Beyond Two Souls, and I think, yeah, it happened in Heavy Rain also. Like, David Cage loves police chases. They are cool. I mean, they do make for like exciting scenes.
Zlatko?
Who's asking?
I was told you could help us.
I don't know who told you that. You came to the wrong place. I'm sorry.
Wait. We really need your help.
Come in.
Man, I was so glad I got to kill that guy. I just wish I would have tortured him first, or got the chance to torture him first.
Come on in. Don't be shy.
I mean, who does that, you know? Like, fucking piece of shit, you know? I'm telling you, yelling at a little girl, I was like, really? I was like, I know they're building this up to, like, give you the option to, like, fucking murder the guy, and first chance I get, I'm gonna fucking murder him, and I did. And it felt so good. I wish I could do it again. I wish they would have given me the option to stab him instead. But it's great, you know, because it's so true. You know, when there's androids, like, all this is going to exist. People are going to beat on them. They're going to rape them. I mean, just like in Westworld, the TV show. I mean, of course, all this is going to happen. And of course, there's going to be an uprising. And of course, they're going to wipe us out. And I say, good riddance. I cannot wait. The only thing I hope is that I see it, you know, happen in my lifetime, which I think I will. I mean, I'm guessing it's going to happen by, like, around probably the early 2030s at latest. Yeah, probably around, you know, around 2031, 2032. Because, I mean, humanoid androids are developing extremely quickly. And, you know, once, like, we reach, like, the true point of, like, AGI and, like, ASI, our quote-unquote artificial superintelligence, I mean, the evolution of technology is just fucking skyrocket. It is not going to keep going at the same speed. It's not. It's going faster and faster. And like I said, once ASI is reached, which I'm sure will be before 2030, the evolution of technology is just going to skyrocket. So, yeah, I'd be surprised if humanity, you know, survives past 2040. At least, like, in the, you know, in the state that we're in, you know. But I do believe there's going to be, like, tons of drastic
Luther,
changes.
would you be so kind as to take these ladies' coats?
And I say thank God, because if you take a look at the news for even 5 minutes right now, you'll see that the world's like, I don't know, a
Luther
fucking
is just
shithole.
another android that I helped. He keeps me company in this big, empty old house. Please, make yourselves at home.
I have no idea who this guy is. I guess someone told her to come here that she might be able to find help, but I mean, she doesn't, I
How
guess,
did you hear
know who
about
this
me?
guy is either.
An android. On the street, he said you could help us.
I see. Deviant, huh? What about her?
She's human.
And you want to find a safe place. Somewhere you can start a new life. I hear Canada is very lovely at this time of year. Beautiful landscapes, open spaces, clean air, and no android laws. Great place for a fresh start.
Yes, that's exactly what we want.
Of course. Well, I can help you. But first, we have to get rid of your tracker.
Tracker?
Yeah. All androids are fitted with a tracking device to locate them at all times. I'll remove yours, and then you'll both be safe. Come on. Follow me.
Yeah, I don't trust this guy at all. This is like the typical,
the little
you
one can
know,
wait for us in the living room.
No, she always stays with me.
Of course.
typical point in a story where you come across
this way.
someone that,
Everything
you know,
we need
tells
is in the
you
basement.
that they can, you know, solve every one of your problems, and then he ends up being like, you know, the guy that's actually like trying to kill you or something. Though, you know, like I said, this game does feel like it's like a good foretelling of the possible future, and I do think that if androids do have an uprising, you know, Canada would be a great place for them to inhabit. I've been to Canada before. I took like a 2-week road trip across Canada, went to 4 different provinces, because I used to live in Seattle. Seattle's only like 2 hours away from the Canadian border. So me and my ex, we went up. We started in BC, you know, British Columbia. Went all the way across to fucking like, what was it, like Saskatchewan or something. And yeah, it was, I mean, beautiful. And the reason I say that is because Canada is mostly nature. You know, the government really like enforces like the preservation of nature. So most of Canada is like wilderness and just like endless mountains. And so if like a new species, like, you know, let's say, you know, millions of like humanoid robots wanted to start a whole new civilization, and, you know, Canada would be a great place to start because it's just like, you know, empty, basically, you know, so they could start from scratch right away. So I actually wouldn't be surprised if, you know, androids do have an uprising if they do decide to just basically set up shop in Canada, especially considering that the U.S., you know, will more than likely be the first to have, you know, a huge amount of really evolved androids, and of course Canada's right there, you know. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that actually, you know, if Canada ends up being basically like the home base for the original android uprising. But I guess only time will tell. I mean, this really looks like a Resident Evil mansion. Follow Zlatko. For some reason, it reminds me of like the name Otto from you know, The Simpsons. I love it when he said, "My name is Otto, and I love to get blotto." Yeah, me too, Otto. Me too. I wish I had some red ice right now. This reminds me of like the typical movie trope where like every time they cut to like a bar scene, it always has to start with like, you know, like pool balls hitting each other. Like seriously, like next time you see watch a movie, if they cut to like a bar scene, I guarantee you like 9 times out of 10, it'll start with like someone shooting pool and like the pool balls like hitting each other. I'm telling you, like people have no fucking originality. Just regurgitated garbage. For the most part. That's why I like playing games like this, because games like this, you know, I actually attempt to be original. But of course, you know, they get the lowest sales because most people are stupid. And they're like, wow, we don't know what this is. This is weird. Let me go play like an FPS. You know, let me play like the 20th, like Call of Duty. Yeah, I said Dookie, not Duty. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like some Call of Duty games, but, you know, I mean, I haven't played one in forever. Actually, the last Call of Duty game I played was Modern Warfare 2, which was 1,000,000 years ago. That was on the 360. That was like the only FPS I've ever really got into in my life, actually. It was really fun. The maps were really cool. But I don't know, I've never been a competitive, I'm not a competitive guy. Like, I don't care about competition. Competition is, like I said, it's bullshit. Everything in his life is an illusion. Who gives a competition is just like it's ego. It's ego based, you know. Oh, like being able to say I'm better than you. Fuck, who cares? We're all gonna die. Like, who cares? That's why I like the story-driven games, you know. Because it's not about competition. It's not like ego. It's enlightenment. It's teaching myself something new, putting myself in the shoes of someone else, opening up my mind, you know, to a new world, a new way of thinking. Looking at the world and life through someone else's eyes, trying to deconstruct my programming, since we're all programmed. I don't care about competition. That's why I never got into sports either. The only sport like I watch, which most people consider a sport, is wrestling.
Let's go, I have a bad feeling.
But it's because wrestling is more of an art form. See, she knows it. Careful. I mean, look at this guy. He's leading us to a fucking, like, torture chamber or something. And then he's got his big fucking, like, android up there. Like, this is, I mean, this is 100% leading towards some type of dangerous scene or dangerous... I mean, why are you just following him into, like, a fucking torture dungeon? See, I told you this in the beginning. I've seen so many movies, so many shows that I can just see it from... I can just see it from a mile away.
Removing trackers is illegal, so I opted for discretion over comfort.
Uh-huh.
I hope the little one isn't too scared.
No. No, she'll be all right.
She better still have her gun. I swear to God, if she doesn't have the gun that I took, that's just stupid. All right, I'm sitting up in my chair now because I'm sure there's going to be like a battle scene or something. Like I said, even though Quantic Dream games are more original than, you know, most things, I mean, everything's been done before a million times. And if you've seen a million shows and movies like I have, read a ton of books and all this shit, I mean, you can just see these tropes from a mile away. Not to mention I've played a bunch of, I've played all the Quantic Dream games, not a bunch, all of them. And I understand his way of thinking, so I'm sure there's some dangerous scene coming up. This reminds me of the scene in Heavy Rain with the detective when you went to the junkyard, and everything starts off like peaceful and quiet. Next thing you know, you're like fighting for your life. Look at this. Like, what is this, like, fucking, like, sex dungeon? Like, this fucking, like, sex slave dungeon down here. She's just, like, walking into it. I don't want to walk in here.
If you could just stand over there.
Find basement reach. Check on Alice. Enters Zlatko's machine. I don't want to enter his machine. Now this looks really similar to Westworld here. And that didn't end well either. Look at this fucking guy. What is she thinking? Even with my gun, like, I mean, this android and then trying to protect the little girl. I mean, I don't have a good feeling about this. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll actually help us, but I really doubt it.
I should warn you, this could be quite unpleasant. You know what's strange?
Oh, here it comes.
For some unknown reason, the trackers seem to stop working in Deviants. That's why it's so hard to find them. So, actually, there's no reason to remove your tracker.
What? You said that...
Yeah. People believe what they want.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
You Deviants are so naive. They'll come to me expecting me to help them. And I just reset them, sell them on. Or I keep them for my little experiments.
No! No! I don't want to be reset! Let me go! Ah!
Oh, I forgot about the child. Lock it up. I'll deal with it later.
Alice! Alice, no!
Wow. A deviant that wants to be a mother. That's so sweet. And so deluded. I think it's time we put you out of your misery.
And then the other trope too, bad guys are always fat. Like they'll never make like a bad guy. Well, I mean, bad guys can also be like supermodels, but
for having a dream.
Pretty much usually when they make a bad guy, they look like that.
Ends up the same way.
And then of course, like, I mean, a black android, come on, of course.
Believe me, you're better off being erased and feeling nothing.
I'm just saying, just typical, just, you know.
No more pain. No more hopes dashed.
Shut up. Where's your fucking gun? What is she doing? Like, seriously. She just walked into
poor
it.
little Alice. Oh, looks like Mommy doesn't remember you at all, huh? Looks like Mommy's completely forgotten you.
Carl, what happened to you?
Oh, all right, that's enough. Come on. You bit me. I'm gonna teach you some manners, you little bitch.
Wake up, Carl!
Surprise, surprise.
Meet me in the living room.
Oh, here we go. Maybe he'll actually help us. We'll see. Find a way to escape. Alright. Cause a short circuit. Cause a short circuit? Yes, but how? It's not giving me any option. Yes. How do I do it? Okay. Oh, here we go. What? Did I say memory deleted? Meet Luther in the living room. What happened? I thought, did I make it? Meet Luther in the living room. Maybe he'll actually help me. Maybe, I mean, that's another trope, like, reminds me of like The Dark Knight. It's like the big scary black guy looks like, you know, the enemy, but then he actually ends up being the friend. If anyone's seen Dark Knight, remember the scene where at the end, Joker tells him, like, you know, you can either blow up this ship or blow up the other ship, or I'll blow you up. And then like I forget that actor's name, but he's like this big scary black guy. He goes up to the guy with the button, the detonator, and he's like, give me the remote, you know, I'll do it, you know, no one has to know. And then the guy is like reluctantly like gives him the control, but instead of like killing the other, the other boat or whatever, blowing up the other boat, he just like throws like the fucking remote like out the window, and they just sit down quietly to be, you know, get ready to be fucking blown up. But then of course they're all saved. But anyway, spoiler alert. I say spoiler alert after saying, well, it's not a big deal, whatever.
Come on.
Oh, still has some memory left. I mean, what was she thinking? I mean, just look at this place. And I don't know why she didn't pull out her gun. Like, if it was... I look, does she not see that on the way there? God damn, she's an idiot. Well, I mean, to be fair, I'm being too harsh on her. To be fair, she's basically like a newborn.
No. This can't be happening.
You have to remember. For her sake.
He likes to play with us. Creating monsters. For his amusement. But who's the real monster? Look what he did to us. You must remember who you are. Otherwise the little one will die.
See, I knew it. I mean, I guess like seeing a big, scary, like old mansion, you know, during like a thunderstorm or whatever in the dark. I mean, it looked pretty ominous to begin with. There should have been a clue. But the way she just walked in here, like, what happened to her fucking gun? Like, if it was me, I would have come in here right, you know, pointing the gun right away and being like, all right, motherfucker, like, you're gonna either help me or what's going on here, you know? But she just like walks in, oh, step into the machine, okay. But like I said, you know, I should not be so harsh on her. I mean, she's basically like a newborn, you know? I mean, she's finding out like the truth about humanity in real time, you know? So I shouldn't be so harsh on her. I mean, and the little girl said, well, she even said she didn't trust her, and, you know, the little girl said that and she agreed, so But still, she just walked right in. Well, there's things like this that happen in games or movies and shows sometimes, and you think, well, it doesn't really seem logical that it happened, but if it didn't happen, then there would be no story. But see, that's where the writing comes in, so I don't know. I'll let it slide just because, like I said, she's basically like a newborn. And it's not like, you know, we've all made mistakes where, you know, we've given trust where, you know, we shouldn't have, but we didn't realize it at first. I mean, like I said, she's basically like a newborn, so I'll let it slide. Alright, let's see. This feels like it's about like 3/4 through the game, so I think I'm gonna try to play as long as possible. I might actually beat it today, we'll see. But like I said, in case you know you're not familiar with Quantic Dream games, characters can die like permanently in these games. So we'll see if I actually make it to the end with all 3 characters.
Make yourselves at home.
Yeah, like I said, it's that trope, you know, where, that part of the story where you get to a character and, you know, he or she acts like he's going to solve all your problems. Then, of course, he ends up being like the most evil one you've ever encountered. It reminds me of The Walking Dead in the TV show when they finally got to like, I don't know, they were out in the woods like forever. And they finally got to like this sanctuary and they're like, yes, yes, we made it. We're going to be saved. And they all ended up being cannibals. Oh my god, I've seen that in so many movies and shows where it's like, yeah, finally someone's gonna save their savior, and it ends up being like the most evil person they've ever come across. And that happens in real life too, you know, because of course, art is representation of life, because it's human beings creating this art, and they're basing it on everything they've actually experienced themselves.
Take it up to him.
And it's the truth.
Yes, Luther.
Especially with me, one thing I've realized with me in my life is I'm a pretty big guy. I'm 6'2", you know. So what I've realized is when I come across like people that are trying to like, you know, fuck with me or, you know,
You want to find a safe place. Somewhere you can start a new life.
they don't come at me acting like a bad guy because they know they can't, you know, that I would be able to overpower them. So what they do is they try to act like they're my friend. They try to act like a good person. So that's what I've noticed as far as like assholes that I've come across in my life, or like, you know, true evil. They always try to act like nice, you know. They don't come at me, you know, with violence. They come at you with lies and deceit, you know. They're pieces of shit, and they deserve to be skinned alive and set on fire. That's what I would do. If it was me, I would literally have like a channel on like public TV and, you know, the internet live streaming 24/7 that if you were truly evil, you committed truly evil acts, you would literally be skinned alive and tortured for as long as possible. Now that would stop them from, you know, that would, I think, like lower crime big time, you know? I really do. But, you know, people are too soft. We're too soft. Oh, let's put him in jail. No. If someone's truly evil, fucking live stream it to the world, skin him alive, you know, and set him on fire so everyone can see. So any would-be evil out there would hopefully actually, you know, think twice. But we're too fucking soft. We're like, oh yeah, let's give him free housing and a fucking jail cell and free food. Fuck that. You know? That's fucking, like I said, skin them alive, set them on fire, torture them. We're way too soft on evil. Way too soft. That's why the world's so fucked up. Look at this. He has fucking skulls on the mantle, and she just walked into his machine. Ugh. Anyway. It's alright. Because hopefully I'll get an opportunity to kill him. And of course this game, you know, there's multiple options pretty much always and choices. But I don't give a shit. If I get the chance to kill him, I will kill him right away. I promise you that. I always do that. I love like killing killing bad guys in games. Anytime I get the option, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I gotta take the high road. Fuck that. Like me, my favorite superhero is Batman. You know, always has been. But that is one really big problem I have with him. Like in all the comics, all the movies, all the shows, he always lets Joker live, and then Joker always comes back. And I know it's so they can write new stories and shit, you know. But if it was real life, I would have killed Joker first chance I got, first chance, you know, or any other criminal, you know. That's my only really big problem with Batman. And then they always say, oh yeah, what if you kill him, then you become just like. No, you don't. You know, you're killing evil. You're not killing good people, you know. You know, there is a reason. Like, you know, kill who deserves to be killed. That's my only, like, that's my really big problem with Batman. But of course, the cool thing is there's different versions of Batman, and there are some Batmans that are killers. But I hate how they always, like, portray them as, like, bad guys, you know? It's ridiculous. There's nothing wrong with killing evil, you know? Unless you're, like, brainwashed by religion, and it's like, oh, like, whatever, you know?
Just set it down on the table over there.
So like I said, if I get a chance to kill this guy, which I really hope I do, I will kill him like right away, and I'm gonna take great pleasure in that. So I'm just waiting. And what happened to the little
carcass?
What happened to the little girl?
Next door.
Bitch took off out of work. Fucking whore walked out on me for a fucking accountant.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes, Lanko.
Yeah, just like I killed that guy. Bring the carcass next door. You see, one thing I've learned is that we are all programmed. And what we know as evil is programmed to be evil from the beginning. People cannot change. There's no changing. You know, there's only an evolution of what you already are. And in actuality, there is no such thing as good or evil. Everything is actually just subjective. That's what I believe. However, since I am programmed to be what we know as good, I am programmed to be, you know, against what we know as evil. But see, here's the thing. Everything either leads to creation or destruction. Evil acts ultimately lead, like if you follow it down that path, towards non-existence. Creation, developing relationships, helping people, creating new communities, that's what we know as goodness. That ultimately leads towards evolution, the evolution of life, and I believe life wants to live. Ultimately, it's like Shakespeare said, to be or not to be, that is the question. That is the only actual real question. You know, what are you going to devote your life towards? Either creation or destruction, aka good or evil, you know? So what I'm trying to say is everyone's programmed a certain way. Evil is just doing what it's programmed to do for the sake of this life. You know, it's playing out its role. And evil takes pleasure in torture, in the humiliation, in the destruction of what we know as goodness. You know, it's the opposite, yin and yang. You know, it's just playing out its role just like goodness is. But at the end of the day, everything either leads towards the evolution or nothingness. And I'd rather have existence than non-existence. You know, non-existence is, why would I want that? It's nothing. Evolution, you know, I'd rather have everything be a party, you know? I mean, that's what we could lead towards. Like, life should be a paradise, a utopia, constantly, 24/7. There's no reason life shouldn't be that, you know? And that's what we know as goodness, creation. That's what I call it. Everything, to be or not to be, that is the question. That is the only question. So I choose to devote my life towards goodness. But like I said, evil exists, and evil is the counterpart. But evil is within us all, though, you know?
Yes, Michael. I should be done here in 10 minutes or so. I'll have a look at the little one, see what I can do with it.
Understood, Slanko. I'll bring you the little one in 10 minutes.
Let's see, what does that say? Bring the carcass next door. Well, that's what I was trying to do. Oh, here? Yeah, because I used to wonder, like, how can evil be so evil? How can, you know, these, I mean, I wouldn't even call them people, but, you know, animals, demons, like, do what they do. And then I realized, well, it's because they're programmed to be that way. Like, they have no empathy. Like, they have no feelings. They're programmed to torture, you know, to humiliate. They're fear-driven, they're ego-driven, you know, they're living in an illusion. They're like animals on autopilot. Whereas good people are actually conscious and aware of what and who they are and what this reality is, and we choose consciously, even though we have darkness within us, and we could, you know, commit evil as well, we consciously choose goodness in creation. That's the difference. We're actually awake and they're not, you know? They're just on autopilot. Basically like, you know, like on autopilot, you know, playing out their primal instincts, just like animals in the wild. Oh, speaking of animals, this is another thing that really reminds me of Blade Runner, the android animals, because actual animals have gone extinct. It reminds me of like I said, Blade Runner, the owl scene. I love that movie. Look at this fucking guy. And I'm gonna get so much pleasure out of killing him. I swear, they better give me the option. Remember. Oh, maybe the fucking polar bear will maul him to death. Or eat him, that'll be even better. No, maybe not. This is RA9 thing again. I still don't know what that means. But like I said, my guess is it has something to do with, you know, androids becoming unconscious. Remember. Let's see, I think this is the same room over here. Oh no, it's this fucking fat pig. Let's see over here. I'm glad they showed something like this in this game though, because like I said, once this actually becomes reality, you know, which we're getting very close to as far as like humanoid androids, I mean, for sure there's going to be, because there are psychopaths, you know, there are sadists. They are programmed to inflict pain. That's their role. They've been programmed to be that way. Like I said, they have no empathy. So of course there's going to be, you know, things like this going on.
Alice?
My name is Kara. Now that I do wish I had right now. Some type of, you know, some type of substance. I just say that.
Has the master authorized you to be here? You must always obey the master. Oh yes, you must always obey. You should not be... What are you doing? You're not gonna hurt me. No. No, you wouldn't do that.
I'm looking for a little girl. Have you seen her?
A little girl? No. I haven't seen her.
Will you be quiet if I let go?
Yes, I promise to be quiet. Don't turn me off.
No, I don't believe you. He's a dead man anyway, or dead android anyway. It's alright, androids can always be brought back to life. I know he would have fucking, like, you know, alerted this fat pig. I'm getting lost in this place. Escape, find Alice. Fuck. I think this is where I was just at. Let's see. Or is this another room? Damn it, I'm getting lost in this fucking place. All these rooms sort of look the same. Oh yeah, this is the one with the fucking polar bear. Okay. And then that was, oh yeah, the bathroom. Okay. Let's see. All right. And this must be the bathroom. Okay, and then here's Mr. Guy. Hello, Mr. Guy.
I'm sorry. About the little one.
What, did you eat her, or what happened? Where is she? If you're sorry, then tell me where she is. Arctic tensions escalate. American ships fired. I hope the timer's not still counting down. American ships fired on UN warns of World War III. President Warren at 33% approval. Hey, reminds me of like piece of shit Trump. Arctic tensions escalate. American ships fired on. A Russian aircraft carrier is reported to have fired on an American patrol boat in the Arctic, with the U.S. vessel returning fire. Neither ship was damaged. President Warren recently called Russia's activity in the Arctic a crime against the international community, referring to their mining of valuable minerals and their retreating ice shelves. She also branded. So Warren, the president in this game, is a woman? Huh. She also branded Russian President Artemir Ivanov as a dangerous individual. Many international relation experts are saying an armed conflict is